Hi, I'm Molly Kilman, and I'm with the Alabama Department of Public Health in Scaleback, Alabama. With me today is Teresa Fair, who is also with the Alabama Department of Public Health, and we're very excited today to talk to you about Scaleback, Alabama 2017. Teresa, can you believe that Scaleback is already here again?
I can believe it. It is here, and we are ready for it. That's why we're so excited that you guys are joining us for this training for coordinators. And I just want to let you all know that this training is for brand new coordinators. So if you are a returning coordinator, we encourage you to watch the video for returning coordinators. It's a little bit shorter, has some reminders and tips in it, but it's not quite as much information as this video. But we appreciate you joining us, and we're going to get started.
All right. Great. Scaleback, Alabama 2017 is just around the corner. And in case you're not aware of what Scaleback, Alabama is all about, it is a statewide program that encourages healthy behaviors and modest weight loss. It is an 8-week program that starts in January every year. This year it's been shortened to 8 weeks, so it will end in March this year. We want to emphasize that the program is for adults only, ages 18 and older. And the great thing about Scaleback, Alabama is there's no cost to it. It is a free program. Okay, so Scaleback, Alabama, the goal is to lose about 10 pounds in 8 weeks. We feel like that's a modest and healthy rate of weight loss. You're going to compete in teams of 2 for a chance to win cash prizes. That way you have that accountability partner that will keep you motivated and working together as a team. You're going to receive weekly emails to help you through the process so that you're receiving tips and health information that will help you make these health behavior changes. We have a team of Scaleback, Alabama experts. Our experts are local. They are from Alabama, and they have expertise in nutrition and physical activity and health behaviors. They're going to be providing our participants with motivational tips and solid science-based information for our participants. The program is run by local weigh-in site coordinators, and that's where you come into play. This program could not exist without our coordinators. You play a vital role to this program. We wanted to mention that there is a Scaleback, Alabama School Program. Our Scaleback, Alabama School Program focuses on school personnel, whether you're a school teacher, an administrator, or perhaps you work in the school lunchroom. We want everyone to participate that is working in a school. It is for K through 12, whether it's a public or a private school. I have to emphasize that the program is not for children. Again, this is for adults age 18 and older. The great thing about the Scaleback School Program is that there are separate prizes that these schools will be eligible for. So at the end of the program, at the end of 8 weeks, those schools are going to be eligible to win prizes that enhance the nutrition and or physical activity environment at the school. The sponsors for Scaleback, Alabama 2017 are the Alabama Department of Public Health, the Alabama Hospital Association, and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama. Okay, so this is really neat. We are entering our 11th year of Scaleback, Alabama. Last year was our 10th year, and we celebrated big by breaking a Guinness World Record. We are actually in the official Guinness Book of World Records for weighing the most people on a scale at one time. We had 157 people on a scale at once for our kickoff event last year. So this motivation is just going to help propel us into the 2017 year and keep us all inspired and motivated to get healthy. And that's important for our state, and there's a couple of reasons why. I don't think this is a big secret, but obesity is a significant problem in Alabama. We are currently ranked number 2 in the nation for obesity. And we know that there are so many complications of obesity, so many chronic diseases and conditions that result from obesity and or worsen because of obesity. The medical cost to our state is $1.7 billion for people that are obese compared to those who are in the normal weight range. So that's why we feel like, Scaleback, Alabama is a very important program for Alabama. It's important for the health of our state, and it's fun at the same time. So we hope that you all join us, and we're excited that you're going to be a coordinator. Teresa, I'll turn it over to you.
All right. And Molly is exactly right. We are excited that you guys are joining us, but I want to give you some information about what your role is as being a coordinator. One of the big roles that you have is to promote Scale Back Alabama in your local area. We want you guys to make sure that the community is well aware that the program is starting. If you can do any TV spots, if you can do news releases, if you can do newsletters within your organization, just any way that you can promote to your local community that Scale Back is coming. One good thing that you might want to do is encourage the participants who will be weighing in your respective area to register online, or they can register through a phone app. And that can be very important because it can decrease the length of time that it takes for the registration process. So when you announce to them that Scale Back is coming, be sure to encourage them to register either online or through the phone app. Another big role that you have is to host the weigh-in. Have an area where participants can come in to weigh at the beginning of the program and at the end of the program. There are only 2 official weigh-ins that the participants have to have, and that's at the beginning and at the end. So you want to make sure that you have your weigh-in dates and times set within the specific week that is designated for weigh-ins, both at the beginning and at the end. And we'll give you some information on what those dates are in just a few minutes. Also, you have to enter the weights online once your participants come in and weigh. There is a database that you will enter into. You'll have a username and password, and you would use that information to go online and enter the weights of your participants. Also, optionally, you can provide different activities for your participants. Some coordinators hold weekly weigh-ins, which can be very important to help your participants to stay accountable. Some have lunch and learns where they use the health tips to allow the participants to come in to get information about that weekly. Those are all optional things that you can do, but what you have to do officially is hold an official weigh-in at the beginning and an official weigh-in at the end. Now, to become a coordinator for Scale Back, your company has to be an Alabama-based company, and your participants have to work in or live in Alabama. So Molly mentioned that they have to be adults 18 years of older, but they also have to work in and or live in Alabama. And we say that because some companies have employees that may not work in Alabama, but they may be a part of their organization. But to participate in Scale Back, you have to work in and or live in Alabama. You must have also at least 3 teams of 2 that you plan to serve as participants in Scale Back Alabama. And that's just because we want to make sure that you have enough to make it meaningful for you to do the process of the weigh-ins. To register as a coordinator, you have to send an email to info@scalebackalabama.com. That just lets us know that you're interested in being a coordinator. And in that email, include what type of organization you are, whether you're a hospital, a school, a gym, a church, a health department, whatever your organization is, just make sure you include that in your email. And let us know whether or not you want to be a public or a private weigh-in. We encourage all weigh-in sites to be public if possible. That's just because we want as many of the community members to have an opportunity to participate in the program as possible, and they do that through those public weigh-in sites. But we do realize that some organizations will not be able to accommodate a public weigh-in site because of your timing or your staff or whatever the case may be, and it's okay to be a private weigh-in site. Just make sure that you are aware that if you're a private weigh-in site, you are responsible for promoting all of your weigh-in activities, the dates, the times, and all those kinds of things. If you're a public weigh-in site, we will publish that on the Scale Back Alabama weigh-in site so that the public will know that they can come to your site to weigh in. Also, you'll receive a lot of support being a coordinator. We have a toolkit that you can access, and there's a lot of information that I'll briefly go over in just a few minutes. There are posters that you'll need to order so that you can advertise your weigh-in site, and I'll show you what those look like in just a few minutes. We encourage you all to tap into our social media outlets. We are on Facebook, we're on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. So we just want you guys to make sure that you tap into those and be interactive with us through Scale Back and with each other so that the participants can be encouraged. All of that information is available and accessible on scalebackalabama.com. So let's look at the toolkit for a minute. Inside the toolkit, there are a variety of things that are of interest, that will be of interest to you. There's one thing that I mentioned is the toolkit. And in that toolkit, there are guidelines for participation. There are suggestions for some fun activities that can be done. There's the registration form. That's very important that you have that on site for the participants who choose to register on site and not do the online registration. Have those paper forms available so that the participants can have those to register when they come in. So you're going to make sure you have that, make sure you have the guidelines to give to them so they'll know what the rules are of the program. And then also, it's very important that you have the weight tracking cards. You can order your weight tracking cards through the site at scalebackalabama.com when you use your username and password to register to access the site. You can order your information, your weigh-in cards, and your posters and those kinds of things through that site. Also, the dates of that are important to coordinators will be listed on the coordinators only section of the website as well. Okay, so some weigh-in guidelines. We want you guys to be very mindful of these guidelines. You have to weigh at least 3 teams, as I mentioned earlier, 3 teams of 2. You have to be sure that to have at least 3 teams that you're going to weigh to be an official weigh-in site. And we know that sometimes coordinators participate in the program, and we love that. That's awesome. But you can't weigh yourself. So you may have to make sure that you have someone else who can weigh you and who can write your weight on your weight tracking card for you. That's just to try and keep it fair and for everybody. The weights must be kept confidential. I can't emphasize this enough. You know, weight is a very private issue for a lot of us, for most of us, and we want to make sure that you're being very confidential. You're not sharing anybody's weights. If teammates choose to share their weights, that's completely up to them, but we as coordinators cannot share those weights with anyone except for the person that we're actually weighing. We encourage you to try to use the same scale during the entire competition. The scale that you weigh a person on initially, try and make sure, if at all possible, that you use that same scale to weigh the person out at the end of the competition. And then be very sensitive to individuals with varying abilities and weights. And by that I mean you may have people who have disabilities, and we want to make sure that we're accommodating those people. When you are promoting your events, if you're using any kind of pictures or anything like that, make sure that you show people who may be a person that may be in a wheelchair, just so that a person who may want to participate and is in a wheelchair can know that they have the ability to participate in Scale Back as well. And when I say be sensitive to people with varying weights, you know, sometimes you may have people that may come into your weigh-in site and they may not be able to weigh on your scale because your scale may not accommodate them. Please be very mindful of the way that you communicate with that person. Make sure you do it privately, not in a way that that information is shared with anyone else but the person, and try and help them find a place where they can go to find a scale that can accommodate them. On the website, there will be information of places that have scales that are over the typical weighing amount. So just make sure that you are mindful of those and that you can help any participant that comes to your area and may need that information. A little bit more about data entry. When your participants come in and they are registering, if they have registered online already, when you go to enter their information into the system, you can search by various methods. You can search by their name, their individual team name, if they have a team name, their address. There are just several fields that you can use to search for a person. And we hope that that makes it easier for you to connect those people together when they come to weigh in and when you're entering that information into the database. Please make sure that you double check all of your spelling of the names, the emails, the addresses, and please make sure that you double check your weights to make sure that you're entering in the accurate weight. Very important. Now I want to talk a little bit about the prizes for Scale Back Alabama. When participants lose weight, at least 10 pounds, when the teams lose 10 pounds, each person on the team, they're entered into a team drawing, and there are also some individual prizes. But for the team drawing, 3 teams will receive $1,000 per team member when each person loses 10 pounds on that team. We'll have 3 teams that will receive $500 each per team member, and 3 teams where each team member will receive $250 per team member. And as I mentioned, there will also be some individual prizes. There will be 40 individual prizes for individuals who lose weight, and they will receive $100 each. Again, each person must lose at least 10 pounds to qualify for the team prizes, and the individual prizes, the person has to lose 10 pounds as well. Just a reminder of some of the things that are, a couple of things that are new for Scale Back this year. We are going to an 8-week program. You may get that if people come in and they see their weight tracking card and there are only 8 slots on the card for them to record their weight, and they've participated before and they're used to seeing 10 because it was a 10-week program in the past. Just remind them or make them aware that it is an 8-week program this year. And we did that because of feedback from participants and from coordinators. And we wanted to make sure that you guys stay engaged through the program, so we made it a little bit shorter. But do know that we will have information throughout the year that will be available on our Scale Back Alabama app and on our web pages so that you can continue to get information. But the program is a little bit shorter this year. And also the registration, I mentioned that they can register through the phone app or through the website or in person. We want to encourage them to use the phone app or the website as much as possible so that it makes it a little bit less tedious for the coordinators when they do come in to weigh. Some tips. Remember to add info@scalebackalabama.com to your email pass list. Sometimes we run into firewalls. There are securities in your organization that may prevent you from getting information from Scale Back. So make sure that you add info@scalebackalabama.com to your email pass list. Also, again, double check your data, triple check your data to make sure that it is accurate and that you have entered it thoroughly into the database before you hit the submit button. And also be very strict with the weigh-in dates and times. We know that sometimes people have circumstances that that may prevent them from being able to adhere to the weigh-in dates and times, but we have to make sure that in order for the competition to be fair for everyone, that we weigh the individuals in the designated dates and times that are going to be discussed in just a little bit for the program. All right, now Molly's going to talk a little bit about some of the key dates of the program and some things that you need to be aware of as a coordinator.
Okay, so like I said, Scale Back Alabama is just around the corner. December 12th, Coordinators Only section will open up on the website. It's going to be in the top right-hand corner of the page, so be sure to click there to get all this great information that Teresa has talked about. December the 23rd, that is the deadline to register as a coordinator. January 2nd, this is the deadline to enter in public weigh-in site information. So what this means is that if you have decided to open up your weigh-in site to the public, you need to enter in the time and the dates that you will be open so that when somebody goes to the website, they can see the time and date that they can come in and actually weigh as a team. Okay, January 9th, that is our statewide kickoff. And then January 11th through January the 18th is our weigh-in week. That's when you'll open up and allow the teams to come in to be weighed. Okay. January 25th, this is going to be the deadline for entering your team weights into the website. So after you've completed all your weigh-ins, you're going to have about a week and a half to actually get those entered into the website. March 10th is going to be the deadline to enter your information for public weigh-out sites. Again, just like in January, we need to be able to put that information out on the web so that if somebody wants to come in and weigh out, they'll know exactly what day, what time you are offering those weigh-outs. All right, March 15th through the 22nd is the weigh-out week. We are ending a little bit earlier this year, like Teresa already mentioned, so be sure to write down those dates. March 27th, again, you'll have a little bit of time there to get your weights into the system. You're going to have to get them in by March the 27th. And then on April the 5th, that's when we're going to have our big contest prize drawing. So be sure to tune in. That's a very important date because that's when everybody will find out whether or not their team was selected to win one of those cash prizes. Okay. Just a reminder, here's the Scaleback Alabama website. You're welcome to contact us here. Please also look over the frequently asked questions section, because as a new coordinator, you probably have a lot more questions and probably some that we haven't been able to cover today. But please, we encourage you to go there, and hopefully you'll find the answer there before you have to contact us. All right, and just a few last reminders for the program. We want to remember that Scaleback Alabama does not endorse any specific diet or product or fitness routine. Okay, we ask that all coordinators avoid this. We would prefer that you're not out there promoting a certain diet or selling a certain product. That is not what this program is about. So please be mindful of that. We would really appreciate it. And then last of all, we want to build your participant communications around the wellness tips that are posted on the website. These are also going to be coming in those weekly emails that we talked about already. But you have to understand that a lot of work and a lot of expertise went into the creation and development of these wellness tips. And so we feel like you can't go wrong by offering that information out to your participants. We really feel like that's going to be the best way to succeed in Scaleback Alabama and changing some of those healthy behaviors. Well, we thank you all so much for joining us today to learn about being a Scaleback Alabama coordinator. Teresa, is there anything we missed today?
I can't think of anything that we missed. Again, I just want to thank everybody for joining. We really appreciate you guys for volunteering to be coordinators for Scaleback. We know that it's a volunteer effort. We could not do it without you. We depend on you to be able to spread this program throughout the state of Alabama, and we really appreciate you being willing to help Alabama's citizens to be healthier and to help us to spread the program throughout the state. So again, I thank you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to go to the website, to the frequently asked questions, contact us through that page that Molly showed you the picture of, and we just hope that you have a wonderful Scaleback Alabama this year.